Hello everybody, it's Paul Taste here, and this is a quick video to show you how to change the propellers on a DJI Mavic Mini. So the first thing we're going to do is obviously identify that they need changing. Now on this blade here, for example, I can see there's a little bit of plastic missing here, and these two over here, we've got a little chip out of this one and a little chip out of this one as well. Something I'd like to add is that if your propellers aren't in good condition, and even if they're just slightly broke, it will actually affect the maximum power you can get from your Mini. So if you are struggling in the wind, or you have other problems where your Mini's hitting max power, it would be a good idea to check the blades and see if they're worth changing. As a pre-flight check, I always check that the blades are in good condition. As you can see, the ones that I've taken off here after a crash have got a lot of mud on them. It's always a good idea to clean them if they're dirty as well. So it is quite simple changing the propeller on the DJI Mavic Mini, but there's 3 points we just want to go over and make sure we know what we're doing. The first thing we need to take into account is that we always need to change 2 blades at the same time. So if we look at these 2 propellers here, it's actually only this one that's damaged, and this one here actually appears to be fine. But when you change them, you do need to change them as a pair. And this is because in the factory they're actually balanced as pairs, so they won't all be completely identical. If we look at what we've got here, we've got my Mavic Mini, we've got our propellers, we've got replacement screws, and we've also got the screwdriver. That should all come with every Mavic Mini. Now it is worth having a few spare packs of propellers. So if you didn't get the fly more combo, it might be worth looking into doing this. They are relatively cheap. I found them online for about £11 for 2 pairs. Once we've got them out, we can see that we've got 2 propellers that have 2 straps on, and 2 propellers that have 1 stripe on. Now the reason for this is that 2 propellers will spin clockwise and 2 propellers will go anti-clockwise. So it's really important that if we take off these set of propellers here with 2 stripes, that we replace it with the propellers with 2 stripes. Otherwise, when it takes off, the Mavic is likely just to flip itself over. So when taking off the propellers, I would recommend actually only taking off the propellers you plan on replacing to make sure you do replace them with the right blades. But if you have taken all the propellers off already and you've just found this video, don't worry, because if we look on the propeller here, we can see right near where you put the screw in, there's a little raised bump, and on the arm there's a little dip, and you will see they match up, so we know that this blade goes on this arm. And then if we look at the other propeller, we've got no marks on here at all, and then if we look at the arms, we know there's no marks there either. So we will be able to find the right propellers for the right arm. So the next step, we're going to be taking off the screws. So to do this, I'm just holding the top of the motor and obviously just using the screwdriver to spin the screws out. And there's 2. Now we don't need these propellers, we might as well just throw these guys away. So if we look here, we can see there are coils inside. If we do drop a screw inside, don't go around poking with them with your screwdriver. Just tip your Mavic Mini upside down, shake it until the screw falls out, and the problem's solved. So once we've taken the propellers off and thrown them away, we should also take the screws out and throw them away as well. The reason for this is that there is actually a little bit of a Loctite on here. This is a little blue compound, and when you screw the screws in, this will lock in and make sure the screw is nice and secure. So without this, it's not going to have the added security, so I'm going to put these away and make sure I'm using the new screws. So once we've got our new screws out and we've got our blades, we're going to put them on. So obviously the stripes on top face upwards, and we're going to place this over the hole. Now we're putting it into the holes in the middle here and not the outer holes. Now this bit is a bit fiddly, but once it's done, you know, and everything will look fine. So I put the screw in and you just spin it clockwise until it grips. So once you've had it going tight, you know that the bottom part of the screw here is going to be touching against the top part of the motor, and it's going to give you enough movement to let your blade fly around the middle part of the screw here. And there we go, we've got 2 new blades that are spinning around nice and freely and free of damage. If we look at these 2 propellers here that are also damaged, we can see they've also got 2 stripes, so I can't use this pair here and I'm going to have to find another pack and open them. Luckily, where I got the Fly More combo, I've got another spare set of propellers here. And here we can see we've got the ones with the 2 stripes, which will replace these 2 stripes. I'm going to put this one to the side. And I'm going to put this one to the side too, along with the screw. Also worth noting, I do actually also have a spare pair of screws here. So if for any reason I need to take them off and put them back on again when they weren't damaged, I do have a spare pair which I should use to replace them. So there we go guys, that's 2 new pairs of propellers replaced, 4 blades in total gone. So if we just recap the important points, we always make sure that when we change one blade, we also change the one it's paired with. The second important point is that we always replace the screws and we don't reuse the screws we already have. The last point is to make sure if they've got 2 stripes, we replace them with blades with 2 stripes, and if they've got 1 stripe, we replace them with the propellers that have the 1 stripe on. So I hope that all makes sense guys. If you found this video useful, giving it a like is a great help to me, and I hope to see you in the next one.